Hello and welcome to Simon's Trading Channel. Happy Sunday to you. Yes, I'm back again. Another day, another Bitcoin price action analysis video. Do you know what? I just recorded this whole thing. It was a beautiful video. It was on mute. I was watching it back and all you could see was my lips going. Nothing coming out of them. Mute. So, hopefully you'll be able to hear this and I won't have to record it again. I enjoy recording these videos, don't get me wrong, but saying the same thing over like Groundhog Day is a bit odd. So hopefully this time it'll work just nicely, just fine. All right, here is the weekly. Here is the weekly candle that I just spoke about without any words coming out of my mouth. On Bybit here. And you can see it's a slight improvement, 66.5, with only 3.5 hours to go for the closure. It's a slight improvement on the CME weekly closure, which occurred on Friday at 65.6. So there's not quite $1,000 between them, but, you know, that's a few lunches, isn't it? Let's face it. All right, so yeah, it's a bearish closure. After these, or following these three, what looked like indecision candles up against, well, not three indecision candles, but one indecision candle and then two long wicks up against an area of resistance. So the writing was on the wall, in my humble opinion. Anyway, I don't know if I've already said this, but I hope you've had a lovely Sunday and you've enjoyed your weekend. Now let's get back into the price action. This is indeed the daily, as you can see, the daily of the mighty Bitcoin. And the mighty range, the 15-week range, the oh my God range, the wow, that's nearly half of this epoch range down here. I really hope this doesn't end up being as long. That's going to get frustrating on the old video front, I can tell you that much. But there is a little bit more to talk about, and you can see I've got a tiny blue line just above the midpoint, and the reason for that is right here on the 4-hour chart. Now I'm sure you've all got vertigo from me zooming out and zooming in, so I'll try not to do that too much more. But you can see the range there, and this is the 4-hour chart. Now the 4-hour chart is displaying some signs of a trend. The daily is not. The daily is just like one down move, which I best show you. See this to me is not a downtrend. Now you're probably thinking, Simon, you, my friends, are obviously blind, because that's clearly a downtrend. But I don't feel like it is on the daily time frame, because what I define as a trend, and I think everyone else does as well, when it's going up is like this. So it involves a low, a high, a high, a low, a high, a high, a high, a low, a high, high, blah blah blah, ad infinitum. And the opposite, when a downtrend occurs, so a high, then a low, then a lower high, a lower low, lower high, ad infinitum. This to me is just one move down. Now, I know people will argue it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I don't see that as obvious. So at the moment, I think this is one move down on the daily. Now, just my humble opinion. Don't shoot the messenger. But when you zoom down onto a 4-hour, you can see some individual moves. And I agree that is indeed a downtrend. And indeed, the momentum, I feel, don't want that. Do not want that, want that. The momentum, I feel, where's my MACD gone? Okay, hands up, who's still on my MACD? It's very rude. You could have just asked and I would have lent it to you. So the 4 hour is indeed showing momentum to the downside, and this is indeed a downtrend. Now, I'm not sure that downtrend will indeed be considered robust if, this is where this little blue line comes into it, if Bitcoin, in my humble opinion, can start closing probably daily candles back above 67.5. There was an important area over here and over here, and I wonder if it might prove to be over here. I wouldn't be surprised if there is some resistance for Bitcoin at that area initially, but to put a positive spin on what is a 4 hourly downtrend, but not yet a daily one, I would say daily closures back above 67.5, and then this whole thing starts to look a bit like a range within the top half of the overall range, and it's just sideways, man. Sideways is the name of the game. If there was a game that involved price action that looks like this, it would be called Sideways. And yes, so I think that's valid. The opposite to that, of course, is if Bitcoin starts to close dailies back below 64.5, and then potentially, I mean, I wouldn't not be. It's kind of already had support from there, but I wouldn't be surprised to see some more support. But yes, daily closures back below 64.5, and then you've got to expect another $1,000 move. And then you'd think worst case scenario, or I would think, you might not, you can think whatever you want, but I would think worst case scenario would be another $3,000 slice off the bottom of that down to about 60,500. Higher low though, which would look good for the weekly, as I alluded to in yesterday's video, would like to come in, again in my humble opinion, of these weekly closures. Well, that was a weekly closure, that was a weekly open, 61.5. Yes, I'd say somewhere between 61.5 and probably 63.5. That would look good for a weekly higher low, and then, you know, weekly higher lows generally lead to weekly higher highs. So that would make anyone who's long or indeed investing in this bull market rather happier than they probably have been for the last 15 weeks. I mean, 16 weeks. 16 weeks is 15, hang on now. How many weeks is a season? There's 4 seasons in a year, 12 months, so there's 3 months in each season. And we've had, it'll be 15 weeks. I've lost myself a bit there. I've lost myself a bit in my own craziness. Anyway, I'm just going to put my my cursor back on, and it tells me the beginning of March, right? So that was spring. So we're looking at, I would say, 1 season up here on this chart here. I'm a bit tired and my mind's gone, so there we are. I'm going to leave you on this note. And I hope you all are well and you know, happy, really. But this note, above this blue line, got a chance for let's call it a shrug off of this 4-hour downtrend, and maybe a switch on some momentum oscillators. Below this blue line, daily downtrend continues. Right, there we go. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please like and subscribe. And if you haven't, don't come back tomorrow. Okay, bye then. Bye bye.